Error handling plays a key role in .NET applications. It's not just about catching exceptions. It's about managing them in a clean and consistent way. In this video, I'll show you how I handle unexpected errors globally using the new IExceptionHandler introduced in ASP.NET Core 8. I've already set up a new ASP.NET Core 8 minimal API project. I've also defined a simple endpoint already, just to simulate an error. Here's what it looks like. This endpoint uses the mapGet method to define a simple get route at /error_demo. When you hit this endpoint, it will immediately throw an exception. We're using this on purpose to test how the application behaves when an unhandled error occurs. Let's run the application and see what happens when we call this endpoint before any global error handling is in place. In Swagger, you'll see our error demo endpoint. Click Try It Out, then execute. You can see a 500 internal server error as the response, along with a generic error message and a stack trace. In this example, we're intentionally throwing an exception just to demonstrate the behavior. But in real-world applications, exceptions don't always happen because we write them. They often occur unexpectedly at runtime. That's why it's important to implement a proper global error handling strategy to ensure errors are logged and responses are clean. Let's now move on to implementing our GlobalExceptionHandler class. This is where we'll define how all unhandled exceptions are caught and processed centrally. Now let's create the GlobalExceptionHandler class. I'm going to place this inside a new folder named Exceptions to keep things organized. This is where we implement the IExceptionHandler interface. This gives us control over how unhandled exceptions are caught, logged, and returned as clean error responses. We'll also mark the class as sealed since it's not meant to be inherited, and inject the iLogger dependency through the primary constructor so we can log exceptions properly. Then I'm going to implement the IExceptionHandler interface, which was introduced in ASP.NET Core 8, and it has one method called tryHandleAsync. This method accepts three parameters: HTTP context, which gives access to the HTTP request and response, exception, which is the actual unhandled exception, and cancellation token, which lets us support graceful cancellation if needed. Okay, let's implement this method now. The first thing I'll do is return true from this method. That tells the framework we've successfully handled the exception. If, for some reason, we couldn't handle it, we would return false instead. Next, we'll log the error so we can keep track of what went wrong. I'm going to use the logger we injected earlier and call the logError method. This logs the exception message along with when it occurred. Since we're using structured logging, each log entry can be filtered and queried easily, for example, by timestamp, error message, or request context. This is incredibly helpful when you're debugging issues in production or monitoring your application's behavior using tools like Seek, Kibana, or Application Insights. Now I'll create the error details using the ProblemDetails class. This is a built-in class from ASP.NET Core designed to represent error details in a standardized format that aligns with the RFC 7807 specification for HTTP APIs. It helps create consistent error responses that can be easily parsed by clients. In this case, we're using the name of the exception type. The detail holds the actual exception message to give more context, and we set the status to 500, which corresponds to a general internal server error. You can also include other properties like type or instance, depending on your needs. I am going to set the status code of the response to match the one we've set inside the ProblemDetails object. This ensures the client receives the correct HTTP status code along with the structured error response. Now I'm going to write the ProblemDetails object into the HTTP response using write as JSON async. I'll pass the ProblemDetails instance and the cancellation token as parameters. This will serialize the error details into a JSON response and send it back to the client. Now that we've written the handler class, let's register it in the services container and plug it into the request pipeline. I'm going to program the CS and adding the necessary registrations to wire up our GlobalExceptionHandler. First, I'm going to add builder services AddExceptionHandler and specify our GlobalExceptionHandler class. This registers our exception handler with dependency injection. Next, I'll add AddProblemDetails. By calling AddProblemDetails, we're configuring the application to use the ProblemDetails format for failed requests. Finally, I'm calling AppUseExceptionHandler. This middleware activates the global error handler we just registered. It tells ASP.NET Core to route any unhandled exceptions to our custom GlobalExceptionHandler class so that all errors are caught in one place. We've finished implementing our GlobalExceptionHandler. Now let's run the application and see it in action. Now let's go back to the Swagger UI and test the same error demo endpoint again. This time, instead of the default error response, we get a clean and structured JSON output handled by our global error handler. Now I'm going to add a new getEndpoint called divideByZero, which will generate a different type of error, a divideByZero exception. What's happening inside this endpoint is simple but intentional. We're dividing 10 by 0, which triggers a divideByZero exception. That exception isn't handled inside the endpoint itself, so it bubbles up to our global error handler. Now I'm going back to the IExceptionHandler to update the ProblemDetails object. I'll add the instance property and map it to the request path. This will include the request path that triggered the error, making it easier to trace which endpoint caused the error. Okay, let's run the application again. You'll now see two getEndpoints available, error demo and divideByZero. Let's run error demo endpoint. This time, you'll notice the response includes title, status, detail, and instance. The instance field maps to the path of the endpoint that caused the error, giving us even more context about where the failure happened. Now let's run our new divideByZero endpoint and see how the response looks. Now you can see that the response includes title, detail, and instance, all based on the specific exception that occurred. You've now seen how to implement clean and consistent global error handling in ASP.NET Core 8 using the new IExceptionHandler interface. From structured responses to detailed logging, this gives your API a much more professional and reliable foundation. If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe. And drop a comment. Are you using IExceptionHandler in your projects? Or do you still rely on scattered try-catch blocks? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy coding!